The top selling brands are Dyson's, Shark's, and Bissell's. So I'm going to test each in all these categories to find out which suck and which is the best, and then compare that against the best cordless vacuum from my last video to see if corded vacuums are even worth it. Also, not sponsored, bought all these with my credit card, so now I'm in debt. So if you can watch this whole video, that would help me a lot. Thank you. Huh? What happened? For context, I used a teaspoon to sift it to make sure there was an equal amount. So I'm sure you can guess, it's the 3 Shark models. And it looks like they barely did anything. I can probably do a better job with my face. Ooh, that feels racist. Anyways, it's last, and the next ones are the 2 other Sharks, which did a lot better and full cleared the side edge. The second is Bissell, just missing a tiny piece at the front. And first place for level 1 is Dyson, full cleared with ease. But how would they do in level 2? Wait a minute, the first place is Shark Rocket and Rocket Deluxe with a full clear? And second place is Shark Purple, Blue, and White, huh? Well, at least they finally did something. Still a tiny bits left, but pretty good. And then came Dyson. Although much higher gold cost, it did worse on the side. But finally, Bissell, and although they were last, it still cleared most of everything. But we can't say the same about level 3. And last place is Dyson? What? I paid all this money just so it can suck. Well, in this case, it's not sucking, so it should be sucking more. Oh, okay, that sounded weird. But it did well in level 1, so it gets a B. Next is Shark Deluxe, which only left a little bit behind. Well, how did the Rocket do? It also just left a little behind, but a bit less, so overall, it's better than the Dyson, so A for both. Next up is Bissell and Shark White. Both left 1 piece behind, and Shark White is going to C, while Bissell is A. S rank is 6 EXP and so on. And lastly, Shark Blue and Purple, which cleared the hardest level but bombed the first level. And Purple did a bit better in other levels. So it's going in A, while Blue goes to C. And let's start with the Bissell. Some vacuums have 2 power modes, one for carpet or floor. The Bissell unfortunately does not. Its air purifier also failed miserably. I was coughing everywhere. The rollers are also non-removable. Which idiot thought this was a good idea? No lights, which is useful for seeing dust even during the daytime, but it had by far the most diverse attachment set, so it's deserving of an extra checkmark. Extras are worth half, and Bissell has adjustable heads to target different size enemies. Overall weight is 13.25 pounds and not bad in third, with cord length being second and capacity also third, so overall it's a D after we combine that with the previous check marks. That was so bad. Was that the worst? We'll find out. Next, we can do all 3 Sharks at once. They all have multiple power options, all pass the filter test with flying colors, all are unable to remove the rollers for cleaning again. They also don't have roller lights, all have similar attachments, but the Shark Professional has a bit better set, so extra half a point. The Shark Professional, the white guy here, is a little bit ahead, but for how long? For overall weight, Shark Professional is 6th, Deluxe is 5th, and the Navigator is 4th. For the cord length, they are all the same, and capacity has Deluxe and Navigator as the same, so 3rd, and Professional is double that at 1st place. So C for Shark White and Blue, and C- for Purple. So next, we have the Dyson. It has double power options. It passes the fog test, but no one is surprised. And spoilers, the only removable roller out of all these weapons. But unfortunately, no lights, and it does have good attachments. Extras are its adjustable heads. So far, very good. And for weight, it came dead last by quite a bit. But first in cord length and also second in capacity. With the final EXP of 4, it's going straight to A tier. And lastly, the 2 Sharks, although they are similar, you'll be surprised. Both have dual power builds, but both failed the fog test, and we'll see why in the cleaning section. Both can remove the top plate of the roller, but it can't remove the actual roller. So, neutral. The Rocket doesn't have lights, but Deluxe does. An extra one on the head for attachment, so an extra half a check mark. Both good attachments, and so far Deluxe is winning. And with the weight, this is crazy. On Amazon, it's 7 pounds, and then you go above it, it's 7.6. So then you go to the Shark website, and it's 8.2. You go to the Consumer Reports, it's 8.7. Canadian Tire, 13.7 pounds somehow. And the most helpful of all, Home Depot with under 9 pounds. So it could be 1 or 2 pounds? I got fed up, so I bought a scale you see at the postal office, made sure it was calibrated, and it's 7.92, none of the numbers we just went through! You can't trust anything. Anyways, Rocket is first being the lightest while Deluxe is second, and then both have the same cord length. And Rocket is a little bit less capacity at 5th and Deluxe is at 4th. So overall, A- for Shark Deluxe at second right behind Dyson and C- for Shark Rocket. And starting with the worst, Dyson, I was trying to cope to see if the settings on the head changes. No, it doesn't. None of it matters. Well, the third one does open a vent so it doesn't get stuck on the high terrain, so Next is Bissell, better at side edging than front. Next, the two Sharks with the Deluxe doing a little bit better. Both are better at front than side. Then Shark Blue, then Purple, and then White at first place. But again, none of these weapons were able to full clear. Kinda disappointing. Now with level 2, it's completely reversed, with Bissell coming in first by quite a bit too, especially when you compare it to second place, Shark Blue. Bissell is better on the side while Shark is better on the front. And then Dyson, and then Shark Purple, because Dyson did better on the side, even though it did do worse on the front again. And lastly comes Shark White. But aren't these three basically the same? Maybe the Shark White did worse because of the higher capacity, lowering the CFM slightly, maybe. And lastly, the Shark Rocket and then Deluxe. Rocket did a tiny bit better, but very similar. Same as the last level, the Shark Rocket and Deluxe coming in last. Because the Rocket head has 6 bristles versus 10 on the Deluxe. Meaning the Deluxe did move the enemies more, but without higher suction power, it didn't do much. While the Shark Rocket just created a buildup. Or it's just my error because I'm a dude playing with cornflakes. What am I doing with my life? And overall, very similar, so both are D. But anyways, it is Shark White, Purple, and then Blue. For Shark Purple, because of the lower clearance, it just pushed everything up. While Shark Blue did the best, and overall White did slightly worse, so it goes to C. While Purple gets a B, and Blue being the best goes to A. In second place, Dyson, perfect side edge, but again, it's terrible at the front. Why? It's because of the stupid design. The gap in front of the opening is 2 inches, which is a lot. I'll say it again for the girls in the back. It is a lot. Especially compared to Shark White, Purple, Blue, and Deluxe with 1 inch. And then Bissell a little bit less than an inch. And the smallest is the Rocket with 3/4 of an inch, getting much closer to the front. Anyways, after all 3 levels, it's going in C. And first place, the Bissell, which surprised me because the higher clearance did reduce its power in level 1. But overall, it's deserving of the A tier. Let's start with the head. Okay, I'm done. Basically wrapped everything around the vacuum tube, and as expected, we have the last 2 places with Shark Deluxe being 6th and Shark Rocket being 5th with around 6 meters per second. Next is Bissell, surprisingly because it got first place last round, and then we have Shark White, Blue, Purple at 9.7 to 9.6. Surprisingly strong considering the gold value. Because although Dyson can get up to a crazy 10.9, almost 11, it's double the gold cost. And now let's see how well that power translated. And it's mostly the same. Shark Deluxe last, and then Shark Rocket and Bissell, followed by Shark White, Purple, and then Blue, and lastly, Dyson. Not much to say on the ranking, but somehow the Bissell dropped from 9.3 to 6.1. What? It fell off almost as much as Ninja. And once again, it's because of the dog garbage design. So the air goes in here and then all the way up and then back down into the tank, and the inside is designed where the air goes through these swirled air holes, forcing it to go all the way down and then back up through the center into the vent and back down and then out through these balls. So after measuring, the air travels roughly 100 inches before exiting. But with the Dyson, when it's standing upright, there's a cover here and the air is forced through the tube. But when you engage the vacuum, the cover disappears and the air travels directly into the exhaust, traveling around 30 inches, much less. And it's why Dyson only lost 1.7 meters per second, almost half the Bissell. And it's a shame because the Bissell has good power. They just didn't want to use it. The last place, Shark Rocket and the Deluxe with 5.5 and 5.4, which is why they are both in D. Next is Bissell with 7.7, followed by the other three Sharks hanging around at 8.75 and 8.8. Again, same motors, so they're all going in A, and Bissell is going in C. And the king of power goes to Dyson with 10.05 average, and it's a solid S rank. But that's not surprising. What is the drop from Shark Blue, Purple, White to Shark Deluxe. Almost half the power, even though the Deluxe costs the same gold. But we'll see if the Deluxe can still be worth it. Since this is tough for most vacuums, I started with 5-inch hairs, but surprisingly they all did well, so they're all tied. And it's time for the big boys. And the last place is Shark Rocket, which seemed like it had a lot of difficulty, so it will end in D. Next up, Bissell. The fluffy brushes seem to have caught a lot of the hair, so it's a magnet for enemies. So it's a C. Out of all three Sharks, Shark White had an improvement, but that was because I was testing vertical versus horizontal. And vertical did have less bunching up and was a bit more spread out, but overall not bad, so it's a B. And Shark Deluxe was pretty good, but I felt like something was off. So I repeated it and there was way more this time. What happened? Well, I had it on the fast rotation, and when I used the slower one, it was so much better. So I guess less rotations is better for this level. But Rocket was also on low, so I guess having more gaps in the brushes is also not great. Anyways, Shark Deluxe is A. Not surprised. First place is Dyson, cause it was the only vacuum with a hair detangler, clean enough to eat out of. Don't actually do that though. So Dyson is a for sure S. Starting with the Dyson. One click to get the bin and another click to empty. You can wash or clean the bin over the sink and also remove the inside so it's easier to clean. And you can remove the rollers, which is actually rare. And you'll see why. And you can remove the air filter from here, and down here is the HEPA filter, which you can replace. So total 5 points, perfect score, straight into S. Again, both Sharks at once. They can easy empty with 2 presses. The Deluxe can remove the bin to wash in the sink, while the Rocket does not. They both can't remove the inside to clean. They can unscrew and take off the plate, but can't remove the rollers, so neutral. They can both remove the air filters, but these are trash. I can filter more by putting a face mask on my vacuum. Regardless, Shark Rocket is going straight to C, while the Deluxe did a bit better, so it's going in B. Now, Bissell also has a 2 easy button empty, so obviously it can remove the whole bin to clean, and it can also remove the inside. Off to a good start, but you can't remove the rollers unless you unscrew 6 screws, and these aren't like Sharks' half turn. These are full-on screws. Where am I? an engineer, but it can remove the filters to clean, but again, not HEPA filter. So overall, pretty good. A tier. All three sharks are basically the same here. No easy to empty because you have to unhook the two side latches, and if it ended here, it would have been neutral, but you have to press to empty, and it sometimes gets stuck, and sometimes it's not easy to open. Removable bin for all. Can't remove the inside, so a bit hard to clean. Can't remove the rollers, not even the half-turn screws, but you can remove both of the filters, so it's not bad. Overall, they are all going straight to C-. We'll start with the actual vacuum cost and then get into the filter costs. And the most expensive, you guessed it, Dyson with 399 gold. And the next is Shark Deluxe and the 3 sharks at 199. And then the regular Shark Rocket at 179. And lastly, way below, Bissell at 118. Quite good value, but will that be true if you look at the filters? And the cheapest is Bissell again at 8 gold, but that's because there's no HEPA filter in this vacuum, which is pretty important. But just on the cost alone, this crushed, so it's an S. Next, it's the Rocket with pre and post vacuum filters at 16 gold. And it was also the second cheapest last round, so it's an A. For some reason, the Deluxe has separate pre and post filters, which is a bit more at 22 gold. It's okay, so it's a C. Next is the rest of the sharks at 50 gold for the regular and the HEPA filter, so more expensive but better air quality. So they are all in C. And finally, the most expensive in both parts. Dyson, it's 60 gold for pre and post vacuum filters, but it is bigger than the sharks, so it's gonna go in D. And finally, let's see which vacuum sucked the best. The last place with only 14.5 EXP gained, Shark Rocket. And if you're only choosing between the two, definitely go with the Deluxe because it came third at 19.5 EXP, ending at Epic. For just 20 extra gold, you get a lot more features. Now, 5th place, we have Shark White gaining 16.5 EXP with blue in 4th and purple in 3rd at 19 and 19.5. And the Shark Professional did slightly worse on some categories, but it's not too big. And finally, did the gold cost knock the Dyson down enough to crown Bissell as the king? And I have some good news. Black Myth Wukong was actually pretty good. Oh, the Bissell? Yeah, it wasn't even close. Coming in at 23 EXP, half of the cost of most of the other weapons, and outperformed them in a lot of categories. So this is a no-brainer for the best budget weapon in this class. And finally, Dyson with 28 EXP. But this might not be the best for you. What is the one who did best in the category that matters most to you, because Dyson didn't do well on carpet, and if that's your whole house, this is the last one you should pick. And now, if we compare it to the best cordless weapon class, which is also Dyson. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. You saw all the tests. And when we look at the hard floor, the corded Dyson did better in almost every category, and similar with cornflakes. And in terms of versatility, the cordless Dyson did have the advantage. With auto mode, bigger bin size, and more than half the weight. But I swear the Dyson website is wrong. There's no way it's 7.94 kilograms. I have a calibrated commercial scale and it's 7.98 pounds. But on carpet, it was the reverse because the cordless did better on basically all the levels. But how? When the raw power number favored the corded with quite the big jump. And that's because the cordless has more gaps, thinner front and side edges, hard and soft bristles versus only hard and a flexible suction pad at the back. But they both have hair detanglers and both have easy empty. But the biggest difference for anyone to consider is the cordless being 200 more gold than the corded weapon. So in the end, the corded wins, but it's not a great build for everybody. The heavier weight and cords alone decrease mobility so much that vacuuming feels like more of a chore. So would I really buy a vacuum that will make me want to vacuum less? Nuh-uh. Thank you for watching, and once again, all these were not sponsored. I bought all these with my own money, so if you can check the links in the description, it will help me out a lot. Check out my other videos where I review air purifiers. But regardless, I hope you have a good day. And I hope you have a good day.